The purpose of this video is to provide an update on the Academies of West Fargo as of November 2022.
West Fargo Public Schools is educating all learners for tomorrow's world. Personalized learning is a desired outcome, established through beliefs in self-efficacy and agency, relationships, a guaranteed and viable curriculum, assessment and feedback through instructional frameworks, goal setting and reflection, and pathways and pacing. You might think of it as its DNA. Although the West Fargo Academy journey may seem new to many, conversations about career and technical education, leadership, and partnerships have been in play for decades. Some of the biggest events began in 2014-15 with the sharing of the Cass County career and technical education programs. Take a moment to walk through the timeline to notice some of the events that have taken place since 2014 and personalized learning that happened in 2018-19 and other events that led up to our work today. Why the Academies of West Fargo? Three major pillars are relationships through small learning communities, personalized with rigor, which creates intentional choice for career-connected and college-aligned themes, relevance, partnerships with the community, enrich curriculums. The Academy is a collaborative effort between core academics, career and technical education, the business partnerships, and learner leadership. You might think of it as the middle school model meets the post-secondary model at the high school level through choice pathways. A vision for the Academies of West Fargo is continued learner-centered education. Relationships as at the foundation, but choice inspires interest, and small learning communities strengthens those relationships. This will inspire students to attend school, increase graduation for all learners, create opportunities to be involved with the community with a goal of leading to student success, not only in the school day, but after high school.
Career pathways are currently a part of the West Fargo education system. Moving forward, these pathways will be clustered into like areas, allowing CTE to work interactively with academics, support services, and business partnerships. In its mission to educate all learners for tomorrow's world, there is another quest to prepare learners to be choice ready and career ready. And the foundation of the career pathways and academies were based on not only high demand and high wage in demand careers, but on those careers that will be available for our graduates from high school or as they move on into college. In creating the design of the Academies of West Fargo, a brand team worked to evaluate some of the like characteristics and also the brand of West Fargo Public Schools to come up with academy themes and designs. Horace High School has launched its 9th grade first cohort of academy students. As you'll notice on this design, the traditional torch from West Fargo Public Schools is included, but the school colors set it apart from the other high schools in West Fargo. You'll notice that each of the themes will have an icon that represents the academies that are similar between the high schools, but the colors and the names of the academy may be authentic to each of the high schools as we develop and design each of the academies. At Horace High School, 3 academies are projected to be moving forward: Health and Human Services, Manufacturing, Engineering and Technologies, Design, Arts, and Communications. Because Horace High School is currently a 9 through 11 high school, not all academies are currently active, yet part of the pathways are engaged with learners. This will expand moving forward as Horace High School moves to 9-12 learners. Cheyenne High School currently has pathways related to health and human services, business marketing and communication, design, engineering, and specifically transportation unique to its school. Because of these pathways, it made sense to create academies around the current career and technical education pathways, yet keeping in mind that there could be decisions moving forward in the design thinking process to determine what would be the best names for these academies. To provide more clarity on the Cheyenne High School academies and pathways, this slide indicates some of the pathways that are currently in place at Cheyenne High School. Again, keeping in mind that pathways and names may change moving forward. As you'll notice on the screen, West Fargo High School has incorporated the green and gray for their school colors. You'll notice some similar academy names, keeping in mind that as the continued design phase is developed at West Fargo High School, that academies may shift and names may adjust a bit. You'll notice on this slide that Health and Human Services is Health and Public Services. This again is an area that we're looking to explore, expanding education and teaching, health and human services, but researching a law on public services pathway. Again, these are in the design phases along with the existing pathways at West Fargo High School, and research will continue with administration, counselors, and design teams as we move forward over the next couple years. Intentional guidance and learning is one of the reasons for the academies of West Fargo and the pathways. Our students have many options as they travel their journey 9 through 12, which can be overwhelming to the student, the family, counselors providing guidance that might be new, and also to the educators and administrators that make up each of the high schools. The purpose behind the program of studies is to lay out that intentional plan to help guide in students' planning from 8th grade to high school on to graduation. These intentional guides will be updated as titles change or courses are added. You'll notice that also pathway electives will be recommended because we know that there isn't just a straight path to this journey, that there are electives that support and also global electives that expand the core areas. We will also call out student organizations, college dual credit, and potential certifications that might be available to each student as they progress through their programs of study. As we look at Choice Ready, we think about the post-secondary experiences that all students and all learners should experience in West Fargo Public Schools. Here is a draft of a list of activities that would be organized for all learners starting at the 8th grade into their 12th grade year between the post-secondary continuum and career continuum. This will allow organization not only in supports, but planning for expenses and coordination of field trips, and also working with business partners to create solid experiences for learners. From middle school to high school, the design of the academies continues to be a process of development. In 22-23, a 7th grade Career and Academy Exploration Quarter class was added to the curriculum. Students have begun thinking about their interests, their aptitudes, some classes that might be available in the high school, and potentially career academies in their feeder schools. This will contribute to their 8th grade rolling plan as they consider maybe what their first pick of an academy might be in the high school. Field trips have taken place between the middle school and high school in some of the high schools. Moving forward as we plan, the 9th grade potentially may have an academy freshman class, or it might be getting a pathway class. Ultimately, students would have an Academy Pathways class and choice option each year when they register until they complete their 12th grade capstone project. As a K-12 system, West Fargo is cognizant that learning begins in the elementary through middle school. Choice-ready essential skills are developed at the elementary level and advance from middle school to high school. There is also efforts to focus on what career experiences are available to students at the elementary level and middle school to help students learn about themselves, what is available for their future, and what aptitudes they have. An important part of the educational process is the essential skill of leadership. In August, Horace High School launched its first Leader Ambassador program. Students were trained under the National Career Academy Coalition, and students now serve as ambassadors to their school for community events, tours of their high school, and also activities to promote leadership to all students at Horace High School. Counselors are critical to the academic, career, and social emotional guidance in our middle schools and high schools. In October, a representative trainer from NCAC met with our middle school and high school counselors to discuss the ASCA national model along with the merger of the Academy model to create a support for learner success. This was a hit, and counselors have requested some additional training in February when we reconvene for professional learning. Recommendations from the National Standards of Practices include building leadership capacity. Over the next 3 years, educator training, counselor training, ambassador training, and leadership training will be a part of that process. From November 13th through the 16th, a leadership group from Horace High School, Cheyenne High School, West Fargo High School, and district representatives attended the National Career Academy Coalition Conference. The 2.5-day conference led to deeper research, new ideas, affirmations, and continued research processes that need to take place for West Fargo to continue to plan for the Academies of West Fargo. One of the major elements of the National Standards of Practice for the Academy model is instruction and teacher professional learning. As West Fargo High School's plans to transition to the block schedule in 23-24, teaching on the block activities have been integrated into professional learning days. Events took place on October 19th and will continue moving forward through customized learning, curriculum activities, and the February 20th Professional Learning Day. West Fargo Public Schools is currently reviewing facilities through the Long Range Facilities Planning and the Facilities Task Force. At the same time of this process, the high school spaces are being reviewed to determine if any of the spaces may need to be updated for the new instructional strategies and model that we see our students needing, and also to consider aspects that might need to be adjusted and spaces that might need to change for the Academy model. Stay tuned for updates as the task force continues to do its research with stakeholders in the community. We know that learning from others is the best resource when it comes to instructors and the design of the Academy model. Beyond the NCAC conference, we also have local and regional career academy schools that we can tap into for their instructional strategies, their design layouts, and ideas for integrating the model into the high school. Some of the areas for virtual visits will be Grand Island, Rockford, Illinois, Dickinson, and right across the river, Moorhead Public Schools. Stay tuned as we plan for educator field trips over the next 2 to 3 years on the academies and the opportunities we have to work with schools in our region. As you reviewed the design elements and the 10 national standards of practice for the Academy model, you may have noticed that there were suggestions regarding staffing and the structures for each academy. This is something that is really important for every school to review to make sure that the supports are where they're needed and that there's sustainability in the integration and implementation of the Academies model. West Fargo will continue to reevaluate staffing as it does every year, but in consideration of the design of the academies, current positions will be reviewed to determine how those can be transitioned or supported into the academy model. Business partnerships and stakeholder engagement will be foundational to ensure that academies have relevant activities, work experiences, and internships. Also, our families, our learners, and our communities must be partners in this process so that we can move forward for success. As we continue to research and explore the academies of West Fargo, we know that there's much work to do, and we know that will take input sessions from our stakeholders. But because this is a marathon and is not a sprint, this will happen over time, and it will happen in a manner that can be coordinated with the district, the buildings, and also educators and students. So stay tuned as business partnerships and stakeholder engagement continue to develop for the academies of West Fargo. Finally, communication is always at the forefront of thinking, but sometimes can get lost in the shuffle of the many activities that are happening throughout West Fargo Public Schools. As we continue to research and create ideas and design elements for the academies of West Fargo, please check out the West Fargo Public Schools homepage, Teaching and Learning, and the Academies of West Fargo to monitor and watch for activities that are happening as we work through the process of the design of the Academies of West Fargo. We want stakeholder engagement. We appreciate the ideas and input. We appreciate the questions that are asked to help us reflect and do constructive design processing. So thank you to those who are involved in the process, and we look forward to engaging more as we plan forward in the academies of West Fargo.